For our next bit, I have been asked to recreate here on stage for you all the Battle of Hastings. It took place in October 1066. Now, if Michael Bay or Steven Spielberg or some such hack was asked to recreate the Battle of Hastings, they would have a budget of millions of dollars, they would have computers, they would have special effects. The Escapists were asked to recreate the Battle of Hastings, they have me. But that is okay because I have you. So I will need your help to help create the chaos and the horror that is in fact this battle. So the first thing that I'm going to need is I'm going to need two brave souls to symbolize our two commanders of this valiant effort. So I'll need two volunteers. All you will need to do is stand up here and get yelled at. In a nice way. And then decide the fate of the then free world at a time. So that's all I need from you. That's all I need. I need anybody. Anybody. Anybody? Friendly faces.
You can go down.
Come on up, come on up. We have one brave soul, and one more brave soul. You know you want to, Randy. You know you want to. No?
All right, I'll be.
Come on, Randy! All right. So what we have here is we have people representing our two protagonists in this battle, right here, sir. What we have is we have William of Normandy. Go ahead. And then we have Harold Hardrada, the King of England. King of the Saxons, King of the Saxons, King of the Saxons. This is before all that. You're okay. Now, opinion were mixed on both of these people. For William, this is shown by the two names that the bold William was known by. So whenever, for each of you who was given as you came in, a sticker with a W on it, you have just been enlisted in the Norman army. So whenever I mention the name of William, yell out his name, Conqueror, because he was known as William the Conqueror. For those of you who have gotten the H, you are enlisted in the Saxon army. For this, William was known by his other name, William the Bastard. So I want you to yell out as loudly as you can, Bastard, whenever William of Normandy is mentioned. So let's try this right now. Ready? So whenever I mention William of Normandy, lovely, lovely. And King Harold over here, also had two names. To the Saxons, those of you with the H, he was the true and rightful king. So whenever I mention his name, yell out King. But to the Normans, he was a usurper, meaning someone who has a throne that is not rightfully theirs. So, if you are in the Norman army, every time I mention King Harold, yell out usurper. So let's try this. King Harold! Wonderful. Now, we have different types of forces that were available in this battle. For William of Normandy,
Conqueror.
he had his forces arrayed. He first had his archers. So, what in this horrible, cacophonous battle will be the sound of the archers? This is where I need you. Tell me, what is the sound of archers?
Zing! Clang.
Zing clang! So whenever the archers are mentioned, zing clang!
Clang.
Clang?
Yes.
Zing clang.
What? Twang? Zing
clang.
clang? That makes no sense, but we'll Next, William of Normandy.
Bastard!
You'll have some practice. Next, he had his infantry, his valiant foot soldiers. So I need a sound. What is the sound that the infantry makes?
Whoa!
Ah! Lovely.
How do you spell that?
Spell that, please. Spelling.
R-A-W-R.
R-A-W-R. Nice.
Did I also hear a stomp feet? On that one?
Apparently. Whatever you write down.
Stomp feet.
It's what you write down. All right. Next, behind the infantry was the horse soldiers, the cavalry of the Norman army. So what will be the sound for the cavalry? Need a spelling on that as well?
A nay?
Ask Jenna.
That'd be a nay.
Nay, a nay.
Any
Okay. Then, Harold.
Hey!
You're getting better. At the top of the hill, has arranged his men side by side, each one holding his shield together so that they form a wall. This maneuver was called, interestingly enough, a shield wall. So whenever I mention the shield wall, what will be the sound of the shield wall?
What?
Whoa! Nice! Thank you.
W-O-P?
Whoop.
Whoop? W-O-O-P?
It was more like a wop.
Whoop.
Whoop.
Yeah,
Wop.
like W-H-O-P.
W-H-O-P. W-H-O-P. Okay. Now that we've got our two armies, we need the directions for which them to go. Armies can go in two directions, basically. They can go forward or they can go backward. So when the armies advance, what is the sound of the army that is in advance?
Charge!
Charge. Simple, classic. I love it. Thank you. Now, once they have advanced, they will occasionally need to retreat. So what will be the sound of retreat?
Run away!
Can't argue with a classic. All right. So now, on that fateful fall day, King Harold had arranged his shield wall at the top of the hill. William of Normandy ordered his archers to fire a volley, to loose a volley onto the shield wall in hopes to decimate the defenses of King Harold. After the archers had let loose their terrible volley, William ordered his infantry to advance up the hill. But when the infantry got to the top of the hill, they found that the shield wall was not decimated. It had in fact stood strong against the archers' volley. Now, William saw that his infantry was in trouble, so he told his cavalry to advance up the hill to aid these infantry. But when the cavalry got there, the shield wall was able to stand strong against the combined assaults of both the cavalry and the infantry. At this point, William's men lost their stomach and they realized the battle was going against them. So they began to turn around and to retreat. You're getting ahead of me there. Now the valiant men of Harold's shield wall saw that the momentum was in front of them, as were all the people. So they went advanced. And there was terrible fighting. There was hacking, there was slashing, there was blood and gore, and it was terrible. And in this melee, William of Normandy had his horse killed out from underneath him. And all his troops thought he was dead. But William of Normandy got himself another horse and vaulted up upon it. And he cried, "I, William of Normandy, am not dead. And I order all my armies, my infantry, and my cavalry to advance up the hill." And at this, the members of Harold's shield wall saw that they were in danger, and they began to retreat. At which point, Williams ordered his infantry and cavalry to advance after the retreating men of the shield wall. Now, sources differ as to exactly what happened next. There are those